jumping into that directly, first we have to see why the spike is really. Did we have this spike previously also or what? So did we have like this sudden spike in the previous year, like in thousands of number or what? First, the historical data will be the historical data will be the prior preference, and then we have to say like try to divide the problem as much as possible, like to get into the root cause as much as possible. Check whether it was because of the vehicle model or because of one part in the like one part is getting is that flaws or howsoever it is. So we have to try to segment the problem and then check if there are environmental factors also possible. As you said, a region there. So if it is in the north region, we can even take the environment factor like rain or whatsoever it is. So all these external factors also play impact to check it, and then based on that we have to start working how the problem is, what is the issue is.
Okay. So you also work with diagnostic trouble code.
Yeah.
So what kind of patterns you were looking for?
So we were mostly looking for the patterns and issues which we were getting in chassis, body, or powertrain, or mostly in the network communication. If there was major issue in network communication, we were taking the warnings that we were getting, first time warning, second time warning. The highest preference was given to the first time warning, because as it was for the new models, if it was a new model, why is the warning we are getting? That was the first thing. And if it was a model of 2 years or 3 years, like if you are getting a refresh model or an all new model, first time warning was the preference. And if it was the takeover model, then it would be like second or third warnings was given the preference. So mostly it was with the powertrain and chassis itself.
Okay. And vehicle diagnostic data may come from different sources like APIs, Excel sheet, and databases.
Yes.
So how would you bring all this into a single reporting model?
So that actually how the data was collected was from the vehicle. There was a what I was given knowledge was there's a microchip in the vehicle that is always connected to the Toyota server through the satellites. So all the data we were getting from there is what I got. There was no specifically any API. We were actually interns were given the responsibility to create an API there. So my like who was intern with me along with me, that guy he was from engineering background. So with me he was there, and I was working on this as I said you for duplicate values or null values. I was working, and likewise he was working for an API which was actually not there, so that they could present and make it in a large scale the same project.
Okay. Okay. So you merge vehicle master data with diagnostic data,
Yes.
and suddenly record counts increases unexpectedly. I'm giving you a scenario
Yeah.
that you are merging that two data, vehicle master data with the diagnostic data,
Yeah.
and your record count is increasing drastically.
Yes.
So what do you think? What could be happening?
Yeah, the first issue was with the merging of the data. If we have not collected the data, as the main dominant was, as I said, to the date. That was the preliminary thing. If we have not collected the data properly as per the date, and repeatedly we have taken the same data for the same dates, that time we have seen the spike, which I had faced. And other than that, if there is any other factor, maybe issues with the vehicles, if they have not got services regularly, that was the another issue which I knew.
Okay. And how would you confirm whether your transform data set is reliable before building the dashboard?
Yeah, we were checking it manually. Like we were checking it in an average, we would know how much diagnostic trouble codes we would get per day. It was around 150 to 250, not more than that. If there was something more than that per day, then it was something we were downloading the data not properly. Like the date was
Deepika,
in wrong
Deepika.
form.
So I'm interrupting you. So what my
Yeah.
question is, don't go directly inside your project that you were not doing that. So I'm
Okay.
giving
Okay.
a situation. You are, let's suppose, just forget my Toyota. You are working for a
Okay.
new project that's Microsoft. You
Okay.
are about to start building a project. And before that, whether your transformed data, the data which you have transformed, whether it is reliable or not, how would you identify that? How
Reliable
would you
not.
confirm?
Before,
How would you confirm that your data is transformed data is reliable?
so that's what. Firstly, we will check for the duplicates. If we have any duplicates, then we will check for any null values or empty values that have come, and we will check out why the empty values are. If it is empty, then we will go through the statistical method like mean or median, whichever is suitable, and then we will check the data is complete or no, and then we will assure that the transform data is fine. Like mainly cleaning and cleaning of the data is most required. If the data is clean, then I think so we can transform the data.
Okay, so now we will move to the Power BI side.
Okay.
Now, imagine management wants a dashboard where regional managers only see their own region's vehicle data.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example, there are four regions, north, south, east, west, and there are four regional managers.
Yes.
What I want that whenever a regional manager will open the data, they
Yeah.
would see only their own data, only their region data.
Yes.
So how we can solve this problem in Power BI?
So how we can sign is row level security. So we can give us authentication to a particular if the person wants to see the whole countries or whole all the four regions data, then we need a separate row level security or authentication for that. And if he wants for a specific region, for his region only to look at that, for that we have to give a separate row level security.
Okay. Now let's suppose your dashboard has too many filters
Yes.
and your business users say it feels confusing.
Yes.
So business user, I mean to say when we are creating a dashboard for a business, it's not always the direct stakeholder whom we are dealing with.
Yeah.
There may be the managers, assistant managers, team leaders who are using that
Yes.
dashboard or the report.
Yes.
And they say it feels very confusing.
Yeah.
So what redesigning decision would you take?
Yeah, that the first thing we have to do is we have to use the star schema. Star schema so that it is a center, data center
No,
management
no,
is
no.
happening.
No, no, no. Let me repeat my question. Star schema is something backend.
Yeah,
It is happening inside the backend. I
yes.
am telling you about the business user, the one who is going to use the main interface, who is going to use the main report.
Okay, okay. So
Okay,
for
so let's suppose I have created a report for maybe any stakeholder in the Toyota.
yes. Oh,
And the team leaders of the team,
yeah,
they say that when we are using this report, it is very confusing for us.
yeah.
So how would you fix that problem?
Firstly, we have to know what is the requirement of the stakeholder, whether he is focusing on a particular region or a particular model, or so and so we can try to reduce the number of filters and try to give number of counts, aggregated counts instead of giving filters for everything. And try to give minimal number of visuals so that he can look at the data and try to understand the insights as soon as possible instead of making it more clumsier, adding more tables and trying to impress him is not required. End of the day is what we have to deliver the data into that insights into a storytelling. So no sooner if you see the data and he understands from the visuals, oh, this is the growth, this is the drop, this is the forecasting happening, that is enough. Filling up with a lot of slicers and filters is not required, I think.
Okay. And suppose different teams want the same dashboard,
Okay.
but with slightly different matrices. There are so many teams inside the business. There are different teams.
Yeah.
All the team want the same dashboard, but every team has some their own requirement
Yes.
in the matrices, slightly requirement.
Yes.
So how would you avoid creating multiple duplicate reports?
Multiple duplicative words, I think for the output which they are using the path, we can either change the path depending on the what is that dashboard we are creating. That would be the best way according to me, because in my previous projects what I've said, there also I have tried to create different paths for different dashboards with
No,
the
no. So what I'm saying is path is a different thing.
yeah.
Either there is one way that you are creating five different dashboards for five different teams.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I'm giving you a scenario, since the change is very slightly, maybe someone wants a button here and there, like this, very small amendments. So how would you avoid by creating the duplicate reports?
I think publishing the dashboard would be best.
So publishing the anyhow you have to do that publishing.
Like it will be accessible to everybody if you just
It will be accessible. Doesn't matter you create one report, five report, 100 reports, you have to publish all of them. What I'm saying, so five different teams have given you five different requirements in the same report.
yes.
But the requirement is there is a very slight differences in every report. So now you just have to use a trick that instead of creating five different reports, I use just one logic or maybe some amendments so that inside the one report, I'll fulfill all the needs.
Adding slicers sometimes also works.
You are very
Like
close. You are very close. I can give you a hint.
waterfall method, that also works.
Okay. Uh, we can give you maybe 7 out of 10 for that answer, but no issues. Okay, next, let's move ahead. Okay, so your dashboard refreshes successfully,
Okay.
but one KPI remains outdated.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
what could be the possible reason?
The DAX measure that is used, if you have given any constraint, like if you have taken any function within the DAX measure,
Hmm?
so that may be a cause. That may be a
Okay,
primary cause for any KPI that is not refreshing.
okay. And if you had to design a dashboard specifically for a senior leadership, so
Okay.
how would you make it different from the like from the one which you are doing for the operations team? For example, you have to previously you were designing the dashboard for maybe team leaders,
Okay.
but now you have to design a dashboard for the director level. So what differences would you create among both dashboards?
Yeah, for the team leaders, obviously the data will be of his team, focusing his team. The director will be focusing on all the different sections. So instead of giving, what is that term? Just give me a minute. Instead of demodularization, modularization method will be good. Like in the triangle approach, top-down approach will be good. So instead of giving details of each and every candidate, summarizing the team or the department wise and setting up a dashboard to a director, that will be better. Because team will be focusing on each of his team leaders dashboard. So obviously director can't focus as such. Some micromanagement, he cannot do any micromanagement there, so he will focus on the macro management itself. So obviously he will go into the team wise, I mean department wise, instead of going in the team leaders kind of dashboard. So obviously we have to give in a top down approach so that it is very easy for him to understand and not clumsier.
And how would you make a Power BI report easier to use for someone who has never used a dashboard before?
Power BI easier to use. Firstly, before whosoever has never used, primary concern would be to say him, this is the basic thing, this is how it works. So we can't directly hand him over.
So, a restriction for you here.
Okay,
You are not going to speak to that end user.
okay,
You are told that the one who is going to use, he has
okay,
never used the Power BI report. Now it's only up to you. How would you make it easier?
okay. So as I said you previously, so requirements are most important. What the end user is, preferring from the dashboard. Even though the person who is presenting doesn't know, the type of visuals you give is more to understand anything, even though the person who is presenting doesn't know to operate. So if he gets to know whatever he wants from his end in a one glance, so I think that is more enough, even though if somebody doesn't know to explain this. So
Now
the
that this
way,
is the question. This is the question that how would you design? Just tell me the design of the canvas.
okay, so I'll take an employee data itself as an example. So if I take an employee data, obviously I need an employee who is being from a very long time. Okay, and who is freshly joined, what is the count, and what is the count of that people who are from very long time. So secondly, what ratio of the male and female, how they are giving importance, that is what is required. Then number of mainly it will come with the male female ratio if you come to employee dashboard. So from the duration of data you're taking, whether you're taking for 3 years or 4 years or 10 years, let it be. So that is the main thing, the duration from when to when you're taking that scale. If we just showcase that, then if we showcase the obviously male female ratio, then how benefits, what are the provided. For example, maternity and paternity both can be showcased in a single slicer, so that when the person is just looking at it and clicks by chance, if you click on the maternity, that will give you all the details, whatever the male employees are having benefits and female so and so. So trying to minimize the dashboard visuals or slicers, whatever you're giving, trying to give it in a very simple and concise way is what I feel. You're not going to the appropriate count or visual, whatever you're expecting there. Like the count, the first thing is anybody sees count. So that is what you want. How the growth is, you have to use the line chart showing the trend, how it is happening. Or if you want to go with the proportions, then you can take pie chart. Or if you want to go with the scales, how it is happening, obviously you can take bar or column chart as such. So you have to try to think which kind of visual you can give, so that the person can look at a glance and just understand what the data is being showed.
So, next question is, what business problems become difficult if tax calculations are poorly designed?
If tax measures are poorly designed, what? Obviously, forecasting. So if you want to forecast any demand for the future thing, as Bristlecone is for supply chain, I will get related to that itself. So if your forecast is not proper, obviously your fill rate or stock outs or safety stock, everything will go in, ups and downs. So trying to give a proper DAX measure will help you to forecast what is now and obviously in future, so that any kind of discrepancies or any kind of issues happening can be resolved. So, and I think most of the visuals will not always rely on DAX measure itself. It will be somewhere related to a calculated column also instead of DAX measure. So sometimes what happens, people try to take a distinct count just to give a DAX measure. Distinct count they will take into the measures. Instead, they can just use that drop down and select with the distinct count. So like that, try to reduce the measures so that the dashboard is fast and quicker. Calculated column actually works better than measure, I feel, in coming to efficiency.
Okay, now let's move to SQL.
Okay.
So, how would you identify vehicles with repeated fault codes using SQL?
Repeated fault code. Obviously, we have to use distinct counts. If there are any repetitions or if there are any multiple values occurring, so obviously we have to retrieve that data first and work on that. And even we can give limit functions, whether if it is greater than 1, so that we get to know if there are any duplicates or a repeated number of values coming. So yeah.
And suppose same vehicles appear multiple times after join, how would you do? How would that affect the reporting?
Same vehicles appearing with the joins is one thing is we have to use, in that case, we can use inner join. If same vehicles are repeating again, if it is an outer join, so this may happen. Either it should be a left join or inner join, so that we can get particular values instead of getting same models or values again.
Okay. Now, next question is from Python. Uh, what kind of analysis become easier in Python compared to Excel?
Sorry, what kind of analysis?
So, in which cases you would prefer that Python is a better than Excel?
Obviously, in cleaning the data, on formatting the data, in initializing the data type.
Okay,
SQL is
so
also friendlier.
no, so here we need to just make a comparison between the Python and the Excel. I am asking you that what is the case where uh, what are the cases where Excel limits its capability and we need Python?
Excel limits?
Yeah, Excel limits. Excel cannot do that because whatever you have mentioned, like cleaning the data, that even Excel can do that.
Yeah.
Why we need Python if you already have an Excel?
So Python, I think just I need a moment to think.
Yeah, no issues, no issues.
Yeah. I think Python can give you an interface as an output,
Okay, so
which
let me rephrase it once again. This form. You need to create you need to remove the null values.
okay,
Okay. You have 200 rows.
okay.
Which tool would you prefer?
You have 200 rows and you have to remove the null values. So I think Python will be easier because
Python will be
you have,
easier. Okay.
yeah,
And now let me just change the data size. Now it is 20 million. Which would be better?
SQL because
There is only there is only two tools.
Excel and Python.
Yeah.
I think Python only because its processing speed is in 0.00 seconds. I think Excel will work slower with large number of data sets.
And if Python is not available, do you think that you can manage that data in the Excel?
You can manage, but
2 million. Just remember the name. 2 million rows.
no, you can't because it has a
Yeah.
constraint to the number of rows
That's the
in
answer.
Excel. You can use
Okay.
only
Now,
limited 62,000 rows. That's it.
suppose diagnostic data contains missing sensor value. How would you
Yeah,
handle
okay.
this in Python?
Sensor value. So I think I have to give the what is that? Default status, whatever is there. For example, if you take for the tire pressure, you have to give what is the lower pressure, normal pressure which is there. And if it is beyond that, obviously that will give an alert. And you have to create a data frame in such a way that when you give the condition for lower pressure and normal,
Hmm,
if it is
you have not understood my question. I'm saying diagnostic data contains missing sensor value.
missing sensor value, okay,
Yeah. Now, how would you handle this in Python?
missing sensor value, uh, you can't drop any missing values. You have to try to give and fill any function and try to give that what can be like depending on the sensor what it is. So you have to work like that. I don't think we can directly drop the functions, sorry, drop the values, whichever is not there. Try to give a fill NA so that, when it is with a large number of data and you have null values, you can't leave this minute, you can't leave out the missing values just like that. So I think, so depending on the sensor, we have to give some fill NA values.
Okay. So, and how would you quickly identify duplicates rows in Pandas? I want you to share your screen and write the code in chat box. Identify duplicate rows in Pandas.
Duplicate rows. Is my screen visible?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So for duplicate values, you can give df, just a minute. Missing values are distinct, sorry, Pankaj. Sorry, Mayank.
Duplicate rows.
Duplicate, right? I think so. This is the code I think we will give. I'm
Okay,
not exactly sure.
so that's it from my side, Deepika. I'll share your feedback to the recruiter and they will get back to you.
Fine, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for getting
Okay.
back at 7 p.m. I was